We should use reason because we should use reason? Boy, you really thought that one out.
I actually think it's funny that you think you could take me on because the only way
you're getting destroyed, Dean. It's not, dude, it's not even close.
Oh, he's getting
it's just an axiom, Dean.
Argue the
it's just an axiom. You're still spurging, Dean. You're still spurging.
Blindfold off. And unlike you, I don't treat women in my life like shit, and that's why I won't die alone. Anyways, going back.
I'm married, Dean. I'm married. Are all odds axiomatic?
All right, Andrew. You're wasting my time.
I'm still here. Where'd Dean go?
Welcome back to Rattlesnake TV, guys. We have got a great one for you today. Young Dean Withers, one of the liberal streamers, has given us a monumental rage quit to cover. So there's a lot with this one. It's a storied beef, so I'm going to give a pretty brief timeline. And you may be wondering why this debate is on TikTok, and that's because we like to go into the belly of the beast. We like to go into the liberal hellscape cesspit that is TikTok and confront these libs. And this year, hopefully, we'll be doing a lot more of that, and maybe we'll be even wrestling away a little bit of market share from these libs. But that's all to come. So follow whatever.com or JGRettlesNK on TikTok or my other socials, and you'll be able to see when we go live. Just last night, whatever, Andrew and I did a 5-hour long stream on TikTok. So watch this space, more to come. Anyways, the story goes that after young Dean got done trying to impersonate Andrew Tate in the most cringe grift that has ever even happened on the internet.
While you guys are at home sitting on your asses, I just took a private jet out to LA with $1 million and this rental passenger seats in a Coach duffel bag. Couple grand in the lap. I'm about to go drop it at Louis Vuitton. Living my dream life. What are you doing? Nothing.
After this, he thought to himself, well, you know, pretending to be a multi-millionaire and scamming people online is not really working for me because I'm probably a little bit more Clockwork Orange than Andrew Tate.
Let's lose the nerd. I'd rather lose the nerd and just talk knowing I'm right. It's better. So we're going to keep him here or not? What do you want to do?
We'll add him back if Tate wants to debate another time.
Thanks. See you, loser.
So maybe I'll be a liberal soy streamer. And then the Jubilee viral videos happened and here we are. But anyways, another member of this online boy band called One Dimension is Parker. He's also been involved in a few internet moments and the Jubilee moments, and it's created a wave of momentum because the Democrats during election season were seeking absolutely anybody that they could find to try and push their message to young people. And it failed. And one of the reasons why it failed, and one of the big problems that One Dimension has, is that they're very one-dimensional. They only do TikTok debates. And in these TikTok debates, basically they are judge, jury, and executioner. They'll invite people onto their stream and they'll shotgun all of their points. And then as soon as they start to hear somebody making a good point, they could just mute them. So it's basically TikTok brain for debating. And this is why when they debated Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, it was just so messy. Anyways, even with this distinct home ground advantage that they have, Andrew Wilson went onto Parker's stream, and Parker didn't know it was him and brought him up, and he provided Parker with a spanking, and Parker freaked out. And also, Parker said that he would come on the Whatever podcast and debate. So let's check out this clip from a few months ago, not the most recent.
Hi,
How old are you?
Hi, Parker. How you doing? I'm 40.
You voting Trump?
I am voting Trump, yeah.
Why so?
Well, because his economic policies assisted the Midwest in a huge way due to his corporate tax cuts and what it allowed, because there was such a huge stranglehold by Democrats, especially in this state, with localization of taxes, especially in industry. It allowed them to get what they needed the most, which was access to capital, and assisted them in expanding. It was extremely helpful, and I'm hoping that he'll start making moves back to similar economic policies, which would help the local trade.
Yeah, okay, so I have a question. In terms of the corporate tax rate that it's at, can you name me one point in American history that you'd point to where the corporate tax rate was that low, where we saw like good effects on the economy?
Yeah, during the Trump administration.
Can you give me a paper that says...
Actually, I'll do one better for you. I'll do one better for you. If I pay your bill, will you come out to the Whatever podcast and do a 1v1 debate against me?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to pay your bill. I'm going to head out there in a
Andrew,
week.
you guys already ran away last time.
Who's you guys? Who's you guys?
We literally had a day set up.
What does that have to do with me?
On the whatever
Has what to do with me? I'm a guest.
You guys ran away.
You guys, I'm not. I don't own the show, Parker. Will you do a 1v1 debate with me, Parker?
All the time. You will go on.
What does that have to do with anything? Does that mean I own the show?
I'll debate you. I'll debate you on religion. I'll debate you on social issues. I'll debate you on politics.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I'd like to see how you're going to do when you don't have the mic mute button, Parker.
Yeah.
Because that's all you do is just mute the mic and refuse to address the argument. All you do is mute.
You're not actually giving me a response.
Just okay. Yes, Parker.
Andrew,
yes,
Andrew.
Parker. I'll debate that also. If you do round one feminism,
stop screaming. Be quiet.
If you do round one feminism,
I will mute you if you don't be quiet. Let me specifically talk, and then I'll let you speak.
Parker, I'm giving you the terms, Parker.
Now be quiet, please, please.
No. Can you listen to the terms?
Okay, I'm gonna kick.
I'm trying to give you the terms for the debate.
5 seconds. 5 seconds.
If you do feminism, I'll do God. If you do feminism, Parker.
Okay. Well, go find out.
So that's Parker, and that's what he does. He speaks fast and he mutes people. So let's listen to the opening of the debate from a few nights ago, where Parker and Andrew are speaking before Dean jumps on.
Nice to see you, buddy.
Can you add Dean as well? And also, I just wanted to
Why do I wait? I'm sorry. Why do I need to add your bestie? Can't we just do a 1v1?
Well, I'm only going to be here for I think 12 more minutes because I'm going to a dinner.
Well, that's really strange. I thought you wanted to do a debate, Parker.
Well, I do, but this is the only time
why is it that? Can I ask you a question first, real quick? Why is it that you refuse to fly out to California and do a debate with me, even if I pay for it?
I live in California. I will do a debate with you
then
anytime.
Why won't you do it? Can we do it next week?
I want to debate Brian, and Brian.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm not talking about Brian. I'm talking about me.
Can I debate 1v2? 1v2?
Yeah. Can you just debate me?
Can I do a 1v2?
Yeah. Why don't you debate him after me?
Why can't I do a 1v2?
Why? Because I want to do a 1v1, Parker.
Why can't I do a 1v2? All 1v2.
You can't. You can. But why do you need to? Can you explain why?
I want to talk to Brian as well.
Yeah, you can talk to Brian after we're done debating.
Brian's not going to debate me though.
Why do you say that?
Because he's scared.
Well, okay, so how about this? How about we'll just do it right now, Parker? Why don't you tell me what your criticisms are of the Whatever podcast?
Yeah, so the day
just do one at a time, though. Don't shotgun them.
The day of that we were going to show up on the Whatever podcast, both Dean and I, to debate Brian, you, and other people that you had on the Whatever podcast, you canceled day of and never rescheduled. So you're willing to debate all my different friends who are women, right, who might be less knowing about different topics, right, or in OnlyFans or whatnot, but you're not willing to debate Dean or I on that type of platform for some reason, because you easily have the ability to reschedule.
Okay, Parker, here's the thing.
Guys, just a quick reminder to smash that like button if you haven't already, if you want this video to go far and wide, and if you're enjoying the value you're getting from it, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to be a part of this bustling community. And also, guys, the reality-based store, links are all going to be below. Some of the most based merch, actually the most based merch on planet Earth, all of the counterculture merch. We got the MAGA wars and the presidential portraits designs, plus much, much more. So check that out below. Let's get back to the video.
Here's what I'll do. I'll compromise with you. How's that for fair? Now, I tried to do this with Dean before, by the way. Did you see the live of that, Parker?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a live where Dean called me out and I had him come on my stream and he agreed to do a fly-out debate and then he refused. So here's my compromise to you. Will you debate with me and Brian, you and Dean, at the same time on your criticisms of the Whatever podcast?
Yeah, if we could also do other topics, I'd love to.
Yeah, what are the other topics that you want to do?
I'd love to talk about Trump. That'd be great to talk about.
Yeah, we can talk about Trump.
Politics.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Are you religious?
But we can start.
Are you Christian?
But we can start with the idea of your criticisms of the Whatever podcast. Correct?
Oh, of course. I mean, we can talk about that.
And when can we schedule this?
Anytime.
Oh, well, let's schedule it now and let's do it live because that way you can't back out later.
Can you add Dean up too so we can schedule? Because I need him to be up. So
yeah, add Dean. Add Dean. Yeah.
And also, Brian, can I get a specific response of why you've been so scared to debate?
Hold on, Dean needs to send another request in.
Okay.
I don't know why you're smug. Neither one of you are good debaters, and I'm going to crush both of you easily.
and you have to say that to make yourself feel better. It's okay. But
I
yeah,
mean, we'll
Brian, I
see.
just
We'll
want,
see.
like, a
We'll see live,
specific
Parker.
response.
Like I've debated with you before, and you failed multiple times. You didn't even know it was me.
I have a good idea.
That's how bad you are at it.
Brian.
Well, here's what I want to do. Here's what
I have a
wanna
good idea.
do.
I have a good idea. How about we schedule our debate for right now? Why is slut shaming good?
I only have like what 9 minutes more left.
Yeah, he only has 9 minutes, Steve.
Yeah, I have a dinner with my girlfriend
this
and my
is-
family.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
what
I
we're
already
gonna
have a
do.
little bit as well. 9 minutes. Let's run it real quick.
So notice they've only got 9 minutes, guys. They have to do it really quick, which is very convenient because that means that they won't have to face an extended cross-examination. And we're going to see why they don't want to face that. Anyways, clearly Parker is pissing his pants at the thought of debating Andrew in person in a moderated environment because he knows that he will get absolutely crushed. And that's why he's saying that he wants to debate Brian, because he knows that Brian is an average debater. And in fact, over the last few days, Andrew even compromised on Twitter and said to Parker, okay, we won't even do it in person. We will do it virtually with a moderator. And he recommended modern day debate. And this is a massive compromise because what these guys do is cheat. And we saw this in Dean's debate with Nick Fuentes recently when he had a screen up and was just getting fed talking points and data and whatever else from all of the other libs, whilst Nick was just doing it off the top of his head, and Nick still won. So anyways, Dean also agreed to do this debate, and now he's running scared. He even went on Andrew's stream and agreed to this. And last time I was in Santa Barbara, there was meant to be a few of these Jubilee crew coming out and a few of the other ones that were there, but none of it ended up eventuating. And understand that the reason why they won't do these in-person debates with Andrew is very simple, and it's because they know that they will get crushed. Without their TikTok mute buttons, then they fall apart under some basic cross-examination, and we're about to see that. So let's run the tape, and then throughout this, I'm going to give a little bit more context, because there's a few philosophical terms that we need to understand, which helps us to actually understand why it is that Andrew is asking the questions that he's asking.
If it's that you're unwilling to do it on Brian's venue for whatever reason, because you have some bad history with him, can we select a different venue for this live debate?
This venue. Yeah, sure. Let's select this venue right here.
No, an in-person debate.
Okay, why do you want it to be in person?
Well, because you cheat, Dean.
Oh my God, Andrew, you can't
Literally have his camera on.
Can I give you? Can I give you my reference? Can I give you my reference for your cheating?
No, I have a counter offer. So here's what we'll do. This will be really funny, and the clips will be like top tier. What we should do is we should both turn on our webcams. I will put a blindfold.
Well, I can't because the
and I will
program
put my hands up in the air, and I will steamroll you anywhere. And honestly, I think it's a compliment that you say that I cheat, because that just tells me that I'm good at what I do.
Okay, well let's. I'll tell you what. Turn on your webcam. Put on the blindfold. Let's go.
Okay, I got to get going now, but
yeah, go. Goodbye, Parker.
Appreciate
See you
y'all.
later.
Have fun, Dean.
Let's do it, Dean.
All right, I have about 10 minutes here before me and my girlfriend go down to Best Buy.
Get the blindfold on, Dean. Stop talking.
Oh, you don't like it when I talk? Not a lot of
Yeah, I'm just. We'll talk as soon as you hold your end of the bargain, which you're bad at doing.
All right, Mr. Andrew. So go ahead and give me the argument here. Why is salute shaming a good thing?
Yeah, get your blindfold on first, Steve.
You're funny, Andrew.
I know.
Also, I will ask you just.
What about when you were saying the Insler? Was your heart racing there?
Oh no, because that's when I was 14 and a lot like you. I bet you're mad that I was just as mature as you are today at the age of 14, sir. You should grow up, kind of.
Oh
like
man, oh boy, you got me with that. All right, you got your blindfold on.
Shaming good.
So yeah, I think that social shaming in general is good, and I think that if you want to see less salutes in society, that social shame is going to assist with that.
All right, now I'd like to pick up where you left off with a prior guest. You had asked that guest why they do not think that promiscuity is wrong, and then they were like, I don't think it's wrong because I feel like I don't think it's wrong. And you said, well, you actually have to give reason. And I'd actually...
No, I didn't. No, Dean, that's incorrect. I didn't say you have to give a reason. I just said if your reason is just because I feel that way, then it's a perfectly good counter to say, well, then my reason is because I feel that way.
Ah, perfect. So I'll expand a little bit on what she was trying to say, as I would entail that given my own position. Promiscuity, I do not believe...
Wait, hang on. What do you mean you would entail? What does that mean?
Can you repeat what I just said? I'm talking so fast.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that I understand what you mean by entail. An entailment is what?
I give an X is typically what an entailment is. But to clarify on what...
Wait, can you say that again? I didn't hear you. You're very quiet.
Why give an X is what an entailment is. But what have you just given me? Oh my God. Okay.
I don't understand. I just want to know what an entailment is.
Yeah, I told you what an entailment is. It's why...
Okay, tell me again, but be very clear.
Y given X.
Y given X is an entailment?
Yeah, now I'm going to go back to what I was saying. I don't think...
Yeah, can you walk me through how Y given X, or Y given X, what that means?
Shit, Andrew, you want to do anything...
I want to be highly specific with our language. Dean, semantics are super important in a debate. You agree, right?
I actually don't think that the use of that word in that context was important at all, as it wasn't relevant to...
Well, entailment's a philosophical term. It's relevant. So can you just very quickly walk me through?
That, Andrew. I don't think it's relevant.
Well, I'm sorry. So when we're doing a debate, yeah, if we're doing a debate, a philosophical debate,
you know
you
what?
say the word,
what's a fire truck? I think that's relevant.
Yeah. So anyway, so if we're doing a philosophical debate and you're talking about semantics and you say a word like entailment, which is a loaded philosophical term, I need to know what you mean by that.
Okay. Well, how about I refuse because I want to stay on track. So you're making...
Hang on. This is on track. You don't have the mute button. We're doing a philosophical debate. Can you please explain to me what entailment means?
All right. Such as a logical entailment. It's just going to say, if X is true, then Y must also be true. But I don't...
No, that's not what an entailment is.
Okay, that's how I use the term entailment. Do you use it?
So you use your own term for philosophical entailment?
When we define any words that we use in any colloquial sense, in any conversation...
Yeah, you can, but they have to make sense. So all you mean by entailment is if X, then Y?
Yes.
No. Oh, okay. Well, then I'll remember that that's what entailment means. Go ahead.
Thank you. So now, anyways, back to what matters, because you don't want to talk about it. You're making the claim that I have to have some reason to justify the position that promiscuity isn't wrong. I
didn't make that claim.
Okay, you made that claim to the prior...
When did I make the claim?
To the prior...
What was my actual position? Can you steel man it for me?
Of course. You made the claim, well, first of all, she made the statement that it's not bad because I feel like it's not bad. And then you made the statement, well, if you want to say that, then I could say it's bad because I feel like it's bad. But
yeah, what's wrong? What's the problem with that?
Yeah, because I would say that we have to posit reason for any positive statement, even in the
why?
Negativity.
Yeah, why?
Because we should have reason for the things that we believe.
Why?
Because we want to be reasonable people. Are you saying that?
Yeah, but that doesn't. Wait. That doesn't. Wait. So we should use reason because we should use reason, Dean?
Yeah.
Is that right, Dean?
Actually,
we should use reason because we should use reason? Boy, you really thought that one out.
In fact, that's not what I said. That was a...
He's fucking stupid. How did you ever think you could take me on, Dean? All right. So we should use reason because we should use reason.
I'd actually like to clarify that. I actually think it's funny that you think you could take me on because the only way...
You're getting destroyed, Dean. It's not... Dude, it's not even close, but keep going.
Andrew,
I can't wait to hear...
I'm not getting destroyed at all because you just told me the only way to justify...
Yeah, just keep telling yourself that.
Reasonable. You keep telling yourself...
No, you said that reason... You said the reason that we should use reason is because it's reasonable.
Actually, that's not what I said. I'd like to correct you.
Okay, then why should we use reason, Dean?
Yeah, because axiomatically speaking, we should all want to be reasonable individuals. And being a reasonable...
What is that? Well, wait... Okay, well, Dean, axiomatically speaking, we shouldn't all be reasonable.
Be a reasonable person, Andrew? Oh, he's
it's just an axiom, Dean. It's just an axiom, Dean. What's wrong with an axiom?
Tell me that you don't want to be a reasonable person. Tell me that you don't want to
if you state that axiomatically,
you can't even argue.
You're still spurging, Dean. You're still spurging.
Blindfold off.
You're spurging. Why? Because you're freaking out. Dean, you're spurging out bad.
You have to be an unreasonable person.
You're really spurging, Dean.
Unjustified claims without evidence in order to...
Boy, you're really spurging, Dean. So anyway, Dean, when you say that something is axiomatic...
Wait. Sorry, Andrew, I got to interrupt. Dean, you're in breach. You're breaching the agreed upon terms.
Yeah, but he does that.
Back on.
They do lie. He does lie a lot.
I'm in like the ninth circle of hell here. I have a blindfold on my face. He's screaming at me. Why should you be?
Nobody screamed. No, the only one screaming is you, Dean.
Do you have a pink blindfold you could use?
No, I don't.
So anyway, Dean, why should we use axioms?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not answering.
I don't understand what you're not going to answer my question. You don't know why we should use axioms?
Yeah, because I want to debate you on your position that slut shaming.
Yeah, and we are debating on the position. We're starting with what you consider a philosophical entailment, which is if A then B. Okay, you seem to be very upset, Dean. Do you want to do this debate or not?
Yeah, I asked you a question. Walk me through.
Okay, what's the question?
The original prompt. Demonstrate.
We're talking about the original prompt. I'm talking to you right now about the original prompt. You say that, so your criticism, if I can steel man you, if you don't mind, is that an entailment is if A then B. Okay, but also that it was incorrect for me to do an internal critique of somebody else's position if they say that based on their feelings, X is true, and I can't say, well, then therefore, based on my feelings, Y is true. So then we went into metaethics, which we would have to do in order to make a determination about truth claims at all, about knowledge claims at all. And so we're starting with the premise of what is an axiom and why ought we use one, Dean?
Okay, Andrew, so here's where you misstepped. So it was on the second part where you said that I had said that in order for her position to be true, that yours also has to be true. And you're saying that I denied that. I'll go ahead and reposit my claim. However, I'd like to be very clear to Andrew, to Brian, and to everybody watching that if you just allow me a minute to speak, Andrew doesn't feel comfortable talking about what really matters here, such as the morality of slut-shaming.
Well, hang on. Morality. Wait. Well, we're talking about metaethics. That is related to morality. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out from your perspective why we should use axioms when we're making moral claims.
I actually was making a descriptive claim. You can't track.
Okay, what's descriptive about your claim?
Yes, I said that I said that we should be reasonable.
That's an ought claim, not a descriptive claim.
But the should there when
what does the word should mean, Dean?
Should can exist in a normative.
Okay, so before we get too far into the weeds of things here, it's very important to understand what is happening here. And what Andrew is doing here is just debate 101. Nothing controversial about it, nothing below the belt, nothing untoward. He is simply clarifying terms. At the beginning of every debate, when people of opposing worldviews come together and discuss ideas, we have to understand what you mean when you say certain things. And Dean here has used many loaded terms. For example, when you say, is something wrong, we have to know what you mean by wrong. Does wrong mean wrong according to my own subjective preferences, or are you appealing to something external yourself, something objective and transcendent? And Dean is used to throwing all of these fancy terms around and using all sorts of sophistry and rhetoric to bamboozle his TikTok opponents who, let's face it, TikTok is not exactly the seedbed of modern Western intellectualism, but he's used to not being challenged to actually clarify these terms, and when he does, it completely throws him. So let's go through a few of the terms and why they're important. Starting with entailment. So a philosophical entailment refers to a logical relationship between statements, propositions, or ideas in which one proposition necessarily follows from another. E.g., premise, all humans are mortal. Entailment, rattlesnake is mortal. Not if A then B. If proposition A is true and proposition A entails B, then B must also be true. Next, we have normative ethics. So normative ethics is a branch of ethics concerned with identifying moral standards and principles that guide what people ought to do. And then you've got metaethics, which is the study of the nature of ethics itself. Next, we have to understand the term axiomatic. So an axiom is a foundational principle. And when we're talking about morality, the atheist, like Dean, runs into a big problem in that when trying to ground your moral framework in axioms, you don't have anything to appeal to external your own preferences. So the axiom is just a personal preference, meaning that in the philosophical sense, it's not an axiom at all. Because for the atheist and from secular reasoning, morality cannot come from a transcendent source, or morality cannot come from God. So it must come from an alternative source, such as reason, human nature, or consequentialist principles. Whereas the Christian's moral framework is grounded in a transcendent, ultimate source. And this is why Dean is freaking out here, and he's trying so hard to not go into this conversation because he's just so used to people just granting him these presuppositions. So hopefully that helps us to understand why it's so important to actually define and clarify terms in a debate and what we mean by these terms. Because what we can deduce from that is that when one says, is it wrong? There's a lot of different things that they could mean by that. So let's play the rest.
You should really take my course on debating, Dean. It would help you.
So no, when we're talking about normativity, you could have a normative ought and a non-normative ought, and typically when
what's a non-normative ought?
Yeah, because they're going to be conducive to some goal, right? Aside from like your ethical principles. Like for instance, I could give you an
okay. Oh, so wait a second. I just want to make sure.
Like
you're making a moral claim that is not an ought claim. Is that correct?
No, it's not a moral claim. Yet it is.
No, it's not a moral claim.
Right. For instance, if we're playing chess and the best move for me to make is to move a pawn up a square, I'd say it'd be good for me to move that pawn. But when I say it'd be good for me to move that pawn, am I saying it's a morally good thing for me to move that pawn, Andrew?
No, but if you're making a moral claim when you say should, if you're making a moral, you made a moral claim and said should though. That's an ought for morality. Okay, but go ahead. Restate your position. Go ahead.
Dean, just I'm
No, don't mute him, Brian. Never mute him. Unmute him.
I'm going to let them both speak, but you guys got to let each other talk, okay? Just let me finish your
Fair
sentence.
enough. Go ahead, Dean.
Go ahead, Dean. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm happy that I could clear up that non-normatives oughts could exist with my example of a chess game. Now that we move past this pedantic bullshit, here's what I want to tell you. You cannot give me...
No. Well, hang on. There's just one more clarifier. When you say normative, you said a non-normative claim.
Andrew, I'm gonna give you
I just want to make sure when you say normative,
on the topic. You're running away.
I just want to make sure when you say normative going forward,
Just keep
you're
in
not
mind,
saying
5 strikes.
you're not saying ought, right? When you say normative, you're not saying ought. You're saying something else.
So once again, I've described this to you twice already. I'll describe it for a third time. You could have normative should claims, meaning that it's morally good to do something, and you could have descriptive should claims. Insofar as it's conducive towards the goal.
Got it. So what was the descriptive part of your claim?
Yeah, it's like the descriptive part of the claim was to say that we should be reasonable insofar as that's conducive towards the goal of a higher level of rationale. Now, if you will let me get back to the fucking topic, all you want to engage in is meta conversation because you can't give me one good reason why promiscuity is wrong.
You mean a good reason why you should not be promiscuous?
Why is promiscuity inherently wrong?
Oh, inherently wrong. Well, let's clear up a few terms. So I just want to make sure, what does wrong mean?
Something you shouldn't do in this sense.
Okay, so it is a normative claim?
Yeah, I'm guessing you're making a normative claim with the background, Andrew.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to make sure. So when we say wrong, okay, but Dean, there's a reason we're clearing this up. When you say wrong, you mean immoral, right?
Yeah, wrong means shouldn't, means immoral, and the normative sense that you're describing when you make the claim that slut shaming is good. I'm guessing you mean that normatively, right?
As a moral ought.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm running a counter argument against you. I'm internally critiquing your stance. So when I say, give me a reason why it's wrong, go for it.
Yeah. So let's dive through this. So we'll just kind of start at the beginning, and then we'll move it through until we get to the end.
5 more minutes. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. Yeah. So let's start with a normative claim that shame is a useful tool. Okay, well, I'll start with this. Shame is a useful tool when you're trying to mold society into, X thing that you want. Shame can be a useful tool. Why we ought to use shame is because we can utilize that as some type of imperative to any type of morality that we're trying to produce on society. Use a utilitarian or whatever would basically agree that this is the case, right?
I generally agree that it's okay to shame bad things.
Yeah. So it's an effective method, and you would agree from your worldview that shame ought to be employed at times, right?
Yeah, it's generally good. It's a good thing to shame bad things. Now, my question: give me one reason why promiscuity is wrong.
Give me one reason why murder is.
Yeah, one reason why murder is wrong is because it's a right violation. That was a damning non-answer. Stop pivoting and answer mine.
Wait. I'm sorry. What was your answer?
Yeah, it's a rights violation. Now give me a reason.
Oh, okay.
Wrong.
It's a rights violation. Okay. Hang on, Dean. We're just making sure we get the terms clarified. When you say rights, where do rights exist?
I'm not going into that metaethical conversation with you. This is a pivot. I'm failing to.
It's not a pivot for us to clarify language.
It is. It is absolutely a pivot.
Yeah. So you won't get into metaethics?
I'm not going to get into your pivot. No, I refuse.
So I don't understand how am I supposed to debate with you on these terms if we can't get to the metaethics so that we can decide which terms are what, why they're that way, and then how we can actually hang on, Dean, calm down. I honestly want to do this with you. I just want to clear this stuff up. That's it.
Holy shit. Andrew, but we actually shouldn't even be debating about this right now because I asked you for one reason.
Should it in a normative sense or non-normative sense?
Non-normative sense. So I asked you for one reason.
Non-normative. Okay. So in a descriptive sense, we shouldn't be debating it.
4, good boy. Allow me to finish. So I asked you for one reason why promiscuity.
You still got the blindfold on.
Because I mean, we're not. I'm just.
You're just cheating again.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, good boy. All right. So I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is wrong, and then you responded to me by saying, "What's one reason murder is wrong?" So actually, Andrew, that was a pivot around my question. Analytically speaking.
Well, hey, hang on. I think that's fair, but the only reason I answer the question with a question is because you refuse to get into the metaethics of what wrong means. And so I used what's called a demonstration. I used a demonstration in order to try in some way from your worldview to understand what wrong was. You made the claim then that what wrong is something which is a violation of rights.
Great. Now we're getting somewhere. So then what is a right and where does it exist? This is really pivotal to a debate, Dean.
Actually, I actually reject that. Demonstrate the relevance of me telling you, in accordance with my framework of deontic duties, what is relevant in describing minority.
Because I don't understand what you mean by the term. Yeah. So because I don't understand what you mean by the term wrong. I don't understand what you mean by the term wrong. I don't understand what that means.
One good boy. Allow me to finish. Andrew, stop.
You just told me. You just asked me the question.
3, 2.
How are you going to ask me a question and then when I answer it, you start counting? Why are you still counting? Can you just engage, Dean?
Demonstrate more maturity than my 6-year-old nephew. You have one.
Yeah, I don't know. You're the one. Bro. You asked me a question, then when I answered it, you cut in.
I was not asking you a question. In fact, I was in the middle of a statement. I was not asking you a question.
Okay.
Getting old.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead with your statement. Go ahead.
But that's okay. Don't worry. I'll catch you up to speed. So here's the big issue. At this.
Hang on, woman. Bring me another beer.
All right.
You can ask your grandma or whoever's house you're living at if she'll grab you a beer. But go ahead.
Oh, I am living at my grandparents', but luckily right now I'm at the girlfriend's house. And unlike you, I don't treat women in my life like shit, and that's why I won't die alone. Anyways, going back.
I'm married, Dean. I'm married.
Yeah, that's the thing. You will still die alone, unfortunately, most likely. I mean, at some point we all have a And if you
what?
can,
Dean, why make an argument? Make an
okay.
argument, Dean.
Yeah, go ahead, Dean.
Feelings getting hurt. I'll bow the knee on that topic, going back to what I originally came here to discuss. So I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is wrong. Andrew, be honest, in a yes or no, have you answered that question?
Well, I don't understand the coherency of the question.
Dean, let him.
I have listen. I have to understand what you mean by these terms. Do you know why? So do you? Hang on, Dean. Let me explain. You agree with me? I'll just ask you this question. Do you agree with me that people can come up with any definition they want for a word? Any definition they want, they can come up with, right?
Yeah, sure. I'll clear the air. I understand exactly what you're asking for.
Great. So then the thing is that hang on, Dean. I'm just going to follow up real quick, and then I'll let you talk. So if that is the case, and it is the case that everybody can have their own definitions of everything, when we're getting into these moral claims, you're asking me to give you a moral reason why X is wrong. Then we need to know what we mean by morals. We need to know exactly what you mean when you're asking me what wrong is, and we need to know what these things are. That's why the metaethical discussion is so important. But anyway, go ahead.
Of course.
Hey, blindfold. Hey, Dean. Thank you, Dean.
Okay, and if you're curious what's behind my phone, it is my girlfriend folding her clothes. Anyways, I don't think that I'll be cheating. Anyways, so I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is morally wrong.
That's a loaded question.
So when we say morally wrong, all that we're saying is that it's something that you shouldn't do in a normative sense. And insofar as where this wrongness is generated from, this would be entailed given your view, as this is an internal critique. So I am not subjugating you, right, to my view. So I'm
not critiquing your view. I'm asking simply. So hang on. I'm not critiquing your view. I'm not doing an internal critique. I agree that you're doing an internal critique of my view, and I'm happy to answer to these things. But Dean, listen, just chill out, bro. I just listened to what you said. But what you're asking are loaded philosophical terms,
That's not
and so forth.
Loaded question to ask you for a reason.
Bro, would you calm down?
Dude,
again.
If there's a white supremacist on the street.
Boy, man, you're really freaking out here, Dean.
1 second.
You need to stop spurging, bro.
If there's like a Christian evangelicist on the street and they're like preaching.
What's an evangelicist?
Oh, I'm not answering that question. And they're preaching that it's wrong.
Oh, you don't know what an evangelicist? I've never heard. Is evangelicist a word? I'm looking it up.
I mispronounced it, but it's going to be typically more
evangelicist.
Catholic Church down south, particularly.
No, you mean an evangelist, not an evangelicist.
Yes,
okay, gotcha.
So, are you going to highlight the fact that I mispronounced that word? Are you going to listen to me insofar as why you will not answer the question?
Words matter, Dean. I'm just trying to be very specific here.
I actually doubt that there was any level of relevance to you interrupting me and correcting my pronunciation of the word. You just cannot.
I want to make sure I know what you're talking about, Dean. I'm sorry.
I actually completely doubt that. I think that you can't hang.
Well, I mean, you doubt. I'm sorry, you doubt things.
Rather talk about anything.
Sorry about your emotional state, Dean.
Well, I appreciate you apologizing for my emotional state, as you're the one that.
Yeah. I am sorry that you're in that emotional state. Yes.
So, anyways, I will go and repeat what I said. It is not a philosophically loaded question for me to ask you a reason why you think something's bad. if you continue to posit the view that it is, I will leave because you're not worth my time.
Okay, well, nobody cares if you leave, Dean. Go ahead.
Okay, so you're refusing to answer the question.
No, I just want to dive in. I want to dive in, bro. Do you agree with me that it's highly important? Semantics in a debate are highly important. The meta-ethical foundation, what we mean by terms, is absolutely important before we can.
Let him.
No, you don't agree.
Let each other finish, please.
I don't
let each other finish.
I don't think that your meta-ethical view, insofar is the internal critique that I'm running on you on where you think wrongness is derived of.
Yeah, but I need to understand what you're asking.
Why you hold this normative stance?
Yeah, well, where it's the right. Listen, that's fair. Like it's fair to run Dean, you can run your internal critique. All we have to do is clarify some meta-ethics. That's it.
Well, if I'm running an internal critique, what meta-ethical framework would we be operating under?
My understanding of the coherency of what you're asking.
No, it is your understanding of how you view meta-ethics. Why is it relevant for us to talk about my view on that?
Because you said the word wrong. You're asking me about the word wrong.
Yes, but
so it's important for me. Hang on, bro. Do you want me to answer?
Your view.
All right, you let me know.
Again, I'm leaving.
Andrew, can
nobody can. Okay, so real quick, Dean. There's a couple things here. First, nobody gives a shit if you leave. Second, okay, it's super important for me to understand the cohesiveness of the terms that you're using when you're asking me these questions so that I can give you the answers to them. This is Philosophy 101. There's a course you should take. It's called Debate University. You would get a lot of value out of it. Right now it's on sale through the new year, by the way.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just posit this as a last statement. If you can't answer my question following from this, I'm going to go ahead and dip. So all that I've tried to do and the entire time that this debate has been unfolding is I've tried to ask you one simple question. The one simple question that I've tried to ask you is give me one reason why you think promiscuity is wrong. Okay? And in our conversation so far, allow me to finish before you interject. You've asked me about my meta-ethical framework. You've asked me about what I mean by an entailment. You've asked me what I mean by an axiom. You've tried to talk to me about how you pronounce like certain words related to the Christian faith. But meanwhile, you've been able to successfully evade everything but giving me an answer to that question. In fact, the first time I asked you this question on can you name one reason why promiscuity is wrong, you literally responded to me by asking me for a reason why I think murder is wrong. So, Andrew, and in good faith, I will ask you one last time. The question I'm asking you very specifically is, are you able, literally, I don't even know if you're able to do this, your abstract thinking ability is incredibly low, are you able to name one singular reason why promiscuity is wrong? Now, it is important for me to clarify in terms because you deem semantics to be incredibly valuable and important to these conversations. Yes. When I am asking you for one reason why you deem this to be wrong, all that I'm asking you is why do you think that this is something that we shouldn't do? I don't care what your meta-ethical framework is. I don't care if you think that this is something that we shouldn't do objectively or subjectively. I don't really care what your normative view is. All that I want is for one reason why this would sufficiently justify your normative criterion insofar as
Hang on 1 second, Dean. There's this thing going off. Hang on. Okay, go ahead.
What the fuck is that?
So I've already clarified that I don't care about your meta-ethical view. And I don't really care about your normative view that much either, because at the end of the day, all that I'm asking for is your internal reasons why this sufficiently justifies your standard for moral wrongness under your normative view. So at this point, the same way I'd ask someone that thinks being gay is wrong, why they think being gay is wrong, the same way I'd ask someone that thinks racism isn't wrong is why do they think that racism is good. I'm asking you to provide one singular reason why promiscuity is wrong.
And I can't wait to do that. I just want to ask you a couple of clarifying questions. That's all I'm asking for.
Here, Dean, hold on. Andrew, if Dean answers the questions, like how long will it, like 3 minutes, 2 minutes? How long do you
it's just a few questions so that we can clear up a few
Okay, do you need 2 minutes? Andrew, how much?
Give me like just a few questions, maybe like 2-3 questions.
Okay, Dean, is that okay? Dean, can you answer just 2 or 3 questions for Andrew?
I failed to see any possible question that would be relevant. What are your questions? I mean, let's see if they're relevant.
For the sake of time, just answer them, and then.
So the first question is, what does wrong mean when you're asking me if something is wrong? What does that mean?
I already clarified on that. You weren't listening.
Yeah, I know. Clarify again, though, please.
Are you listening? I said it.
I just want to be precise here. What do you mean when you say wrong?
I already said it. I'll say it again. It's something that you shouldn't.
Yeah, say it again, please, so that I understand.
It's something you shouldn't do in a normative sense.
Okay, so you ought not do the thing.
Yes, bro. Holy shit.
Okay, so we ought not do the thing. Now, the second question that I have is when you say ought, are all oughts axiomatic?
All right, Andrew. Fuck you. You're wasting my time.
All right. Andrew, you still there? He left.
I'm still here. I don't. Where'd Dean go?
So there is only one way to describe that, guys, and that is just that it was a straight up and down rage quit.
All right, Andrew. Fuck you. You're wasting my time.
Andrew established with Dean that normative ethics refer to what one ought do, and Dean agreed. He then followed up by asking, are all ought claims axiomatic? Do all of these ought claims about what we ought to do and what the good is, do they all come from these foundational principles? That is the logical conclusion of what Dean was saying. And if he responds yes to this, then he's referring to some sort of fundamental, self-evident, transcendent truths that all of these moral claims are built upon. So then he would have to explain that moral axiom or the foundation of these principles. Where does it come from? Why is it considered self-evident or fundamental? You see, the atheist doesn't have a way to actually ground their moral framework. So this would be a logical trap and an internal contradiction for Dean, because according to his atheist worldview, ought claims, or what we ought to do, is just based upon human reason, or perception, or experiences, or cultural norms. And this is why he quit, because whether he knows it or whether he was just bamboozled, he was caught in a logical trap and was about to become very self-evident there. So very, very satisfying stuff, guys. Don't forget to check out the reality-based merch store below. And if you'd like to like the video and subscribe to the channel, you are more than welcome to do so. And also, if you would like to watch another one right here. Till next time, I'm Jake. This is RattlesnakeTV, keeping you armed and dangerous.